in life, right? They get into other problems in life, either financially, relationship issues, right? Fights or whatnot, right? So what I'm having today is um, roasted chicken wings and rice. So chicken and rice, white rice, and then I got from yesterday I made the pomegranate seeds, or not seeds, just pomegranate, whatever, fruit. And I got the crack sauce for the chicken. You know what I mean? The tray, and you know all the flavoring for it, lime, chili, Thai chili, um, all the herbs and stuff, garlic, everything. You know what I mean? Sugar, that goes into it. But anyway, so yeah, I mean that's just introduction. But my topic I want to talk on today while I'm eating. Sorry guys. Let's talk about the mbnel situation, right? Man, dude, I feel bad. I feel bad for these people. You know what I mean? Gang banging lifestyle, and then basically, what seemed like it was revenge. You know what I mean? Got a whole seems like a whole town right now is suffering, dude. I feel bad for the whole mess up there in Stockton. You know what I mean? Like it's messy. You know, and gang culture, no one snitch, right? And the gang wars gonna keep on going because you know why? No one's gonna be prosecuted for it. No one's gonna talk. Right? They're gonna try to prosecute someone, but if no one talks, you know what I mean? They're gonna put brown people in jail. But and it's just gonna keep on going and going and going, right? But even then, right? You have a lot of people with anger now, right? I feel bad for the whole situation. Yeah, it's all bad. But I want to talk about this, right? It's called timing. Timing, right? Like, how can people not see the timing of their time for the journey to end, right? Quest to end. How can people not see it, right? Does this make a man greater? You know what I mean? Or will he cease to exist after this, right? Let's just talk about MV Nails, right? I don't know the other people. I don't know whatever, right? But apparently this guy's on the news in the community, right? The Asian community, because apparently he's the famous person that showed up to a party where there was a mass shooting. And obviously there was a rival opposition of his, quote unquote, he was targeted, right? So that's the reason, why it happened. And so, you know what I mean? I remember reading about him and, how he came up and stuff. How he grew up, adolescent, he had to join gang culture because he was very active in Stockton. They shut up, his home or whatever, right? He didn't know where to turn to, so it's just messy over there. But obviously the music helped him out, got him out of poverty. But I mean, But you still have a whole. I think that's the issue, right? The issue is, I think the rap lifestyle. Um, your town bring you up, but now you have to feed your town people, right? The village people, the town, right? The family. So because that's the case, you pretty much, yeah, you know, and since it's that culture before it became famous, right? Even after you become famous, right? Now you just become, you know, a bigger target. So you really couldn't avoid it, regardless of whether or not you were a rapper, because the precedence was you were a gang member first. So it was timing, right? He couldn't he couldn't make that timing work for him, or time to be able to meet his end goal fast enough, which is, what's the end goal, right? To be rich enough to afford to move his group or family or um, the people in his network outside of a place without, that didn't have protection as far as security goes. And that's why it's so important, right? I always talk about time, and how you play the game. You know what I mean? It's an order operation, guys. You know what I mean? You got, I think it goes for everybody. It's an order operation. You know what I mean? People get to where they're at, but are they ready for it? All right? I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope you guys, you know what I mean? For every one of you guys that decide to choose a path, make sure you plan really well. Okay? Have a good day. Peace. All right, check it out, guys. Every day we eat good. All right, I was watching. My bad, dude. I think about this influencer that I was watching. I guess the guy, like, is overweight, and they make fun of his overweight because he eat too good. But that's the line he says. Every day we eat good. I mean, I used to get that line a lot when I was you know in a relationship, right? You know, yeah, at least like, because it was a psychological thing. You know what I mean? Like, just as long as you eat well and you're healthy, right? And then obviously it's not about overeating, right? It's just about, like, when people don't eat well, they get into other problems,